Hello, and welcome to Memory and Engagement Opportunity for Wellness. I'm your host, Michelle Hobb, a speech language pathologist and the leader for the Meadowlark Special Programs. Thank you for joining me. The purpose of this opportunity is to engage and attend to different tasks. It's important every day for us to find time to focus and attend and to just get our attention onto one specific thing. So that's what we're going to do today. We're also going to do some reviewing, refresh our bodies and minds a little bit, and recall some information. But before we move into the future, let's check and see how you did with your writing out of a recipe or how to build something. So if you remember from our previous session, we talked about making hummus from scratch, and we went through the recipe step by step. We talked about specifics, we used sensory words, and we used communication that would help us with visualization. The next step then for your homework was to write it out, to practice those skills, and to work on your specific writing abilities. Also, if you weren't interested in doing a recipe, you could do some describing about how to build something. Maybe that's how to build a bookshelf. So hopefully you took advantage of this time to practice. If you didn't, you can still do it this week. Just grab some paper and write out specific sequential steps for how to do a recipe or how to build something. I also wanted to review sleeping and how it's beneficial for your brain. Sleep is the time that we work on filing our memories. So it's a very important time for your brain to clear out, to clean out those things that we don't need, and to sort and file those other things. So although you have an active part in that, during the day, your brain continues to work on those memories while you sleep. We also talked about monitoring your resting or napping times. Naps are perfectly okay, and some of us need them just to make it through the day. However, we do want to make sure that we're monitoring the frequency and the duration of those naps. Keeping those naps about 20 minutes to 30 minutes is about the max that is recommended. Beyond that, it can start to cause more challenges with nighttime sleeping. We also want to limit our screen time as it gets closer to the evening. That might be television, computers, smartphones, but limiting that blue light that you're exposed to can help improve your sleep quality. And of course, drinking the majority of your liquids earlier in the day can lead to more restful nights so that you don't have to get up and use the bathroom as much. It's a great lead in to our new topic for today, which is drink your water. So hopefully you also like the water that I have on the screen today, so you can see those droplets to make you think about drinking throughout this class. But dehydration can cause difficulties concentrating, problems with confusion, and fatigue. All of these things can interfere with your ability to remember. If you aren't able to concentrate, you're not going to get things into that immediate memory, into short term, and so on. Also, that dehydration causes confusion, which can lead to circumstances of not being able to maybe recognize what's happening currently in the environment, or just difficulties in remembering in general. Then also, just a reminder to drink the majority of your liquids earlier in the day to help you with your sleep as well. So let's take a few seconds to do some refresh. We haven't worked on our deep breathing practices for a while, so I wanted to hit these again. Why are we talking about hydration and breathing in a memory class? Well, as we just talked about, hydration is important for being able to maximize your body's ability to be able to remember. And also with breathing, we can use breathing to help us if we're feeling stressed, anxious, or worried, angry, or sad, to help us get back into that good breathing pattern and allow us better opportunities for focusing and attending. When we're experiencing all of those different emotions, it's very hard to focus on what it is that you need to be able to remember. So let's get busy. We're going to position ourselves sitting up nice and tall. Legs are about hip width apart, maybe a little bit more depending on your chair. And then I want you to think about really pushing your tailbone down into your seat, which is going to allow you to sit up taller. And you're going to take your hands either in a C shape or just in the front, just pushing up against your belly here, and just below your rib cage. As you're doing that, go ahead and check your shoulders. Just roll those shoulders back a little bit and take them away from your ears. So we don't want to be scrunched up. We want to just have nice relaxed shoulders here. We're going to focus our breathing on breathing in deep through our nose, expanding that diaphragm and thus the belly, and then exhaling through our lips and pushing that belly in to feel that resistance. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with breathing in for 3 through our nose and 3 out through our mouth, through pursed lips. Here we go, breathing in. There we go. Okay, so hopefully that feels really nice and comfortable. And you can just practice that for as long as you need to help you start to feel that comfortable pattern and rhythm. We also want to practice expanding that a little bit. So breathing in for 3 and exhaling for 6 seconds. So let's go ahead and try this. So we're breathing in, 2, 3. In. In. Good. So that should feel like you're pushing yourself a little bit more as you increase the exhale. But hopefully that's still a very comfortable pattern of breathing for you. And just play with it throughout the week where you're breathing in and out for 3 seconds and in for 3 and out for 6. And try it before you engage in some of your homework activities that we're going to do here in a little bit. Last time we met, we began with sequencing with details, talking about small, specific steps. We're going to continue that today, and we're also going to continue working on describing with sensory words. So looking at how we smell, see, hear, feel, touch, all of those types of sensory components that we can use descriptive words to help with our sequencing and with our specific information. The reason that we're focusing on these 2 components is to assist with visualization. Anytime we can involve more than one system, then we can improve our abilities to remember and or learn. So if we're using these descriptions, we're hearing it, but then we're also visualizing within our mind what it is that we're hearing. Okay, so that's our rationale for doing sequencing with details. So for today's practice, we're going to work on giving directions to your Meadowlark home from the Hayes house in Council Grove. Okay, so picture in your mind Meadowlark, Council Grove, and let's take that journey home to Meadowlark. So you're exiting the Hayes House restaurant, and you start by heading east on West Main Street. You're then going to take the second left on North Union Street. Okay, so right here, let's just take a second to really visualize what we're hearing. Start by heading east on West Main Street. Take the second left onto North Union Street. Okay, so keep that concept of visualizing as I talk here. You're going to follow K177 for 33 miles. So if you want to think about this as those rolling hills, think about that as you're following K177 for 33 miles. Then immediately after the bridge, take a right off of the exit ramp. So take that right exit ramp. Don't take a right off the exit ramp, but take a right on the exit ramp. Then turn left at the light onto K177. Okay, so turning left, we're now within the city of Manhattan. We're turning left at the light, back onto K177. Then we're going to continue straight for approximately 3 miles. Turn left onto Meadowlark Road shortly after the Kimball intersection. Okay, so we've got very specific instructions here, and we have some keywords that are bolded and underlined to help you really tune in to what details are important. I'd like you to just take a minute, read through these instructions, and as you're reading, really try to picture in your mind's eye driving or riding from Council Grove to Meadowlark. All right. Now let's practice some visualization and some recall. You see here up in the upper left, we have a picture of the Hayes house and our journey from it's really kind of backwards, I guess, if you wanted to visualize. This looks like it's going from north to south instead of south to north, but we'll just pretend that that's not there. We're just going from the Hayes house to Meadowlark Hills. So I want you to go ahead and close your eyes and describe out loud or to your friend or partner who's with you there what those steps were as you exit the Hayes house. Where do you go? What are your steps, and how do you get to your home at Meadowlark? All right, so you might not be quite back to Meadowlark's home yet, but we're close. You can continue that discussion after class. So let's go ahead and review. So heading east on West Main Street, taking that second left onto North Union Station. Then here are the rest of our steps that we talked about. Okay, so how did you do? Did you get all 7 of those directions? If not, where was it tricky? Where did you leave out a step? It's likely in the middle, which is where we tend to overlook things when we have a list of items. We overlook or miss the items in the middle. All right. So, paying special attention to this, you can then practice writing these things out. So maybe for your part of your homework, you could go ahead and visualize, since we've done this a couple times, visualize and then write out the steps to get to and or from Hayes House in Council Grove. Okay, so another part of your homework is for you to describe how to find a specific item in your home. So let's take, for example, that a grandchild comes to visit and you want to give them maybe a specific book or a favorite piece of china or maybe a special photograph. I want you to practice describing verbally how you would get them to find one of these items or something else that you might want to describe, how you would get someone else to find this item within your home. A key component here is to think about where is the person's starting location. So making sure, just like we did with our Hayes house example, we started from exiting the front of the building onto the main street. So where is the person starting within your home? And then use sensory information as well as describing things within the rooms. So an example might be you're wanting to give them instructions on where to find a specific book, that you describe the room that they're going to, and by maybe the color of the walls or the ceiling fan that's making loud noise. And then you can also describe what's close to it by sensory information. It could be that you're describing the book that is close to the fuzzy hat. So that gives them something else to really key into, a sensory fuzzy hat in the room that has the loud ceiling fan. Okay, so practice this, describe it verbally, and then I'll give you more homework later. So as we're talking about directions and going from one place to another, I thought this video was very clever and gave us some good things to think about. So let's watch this video.
Hello?
Just got off the train.
Hello? Who's that?
It's me. I'm at the station.
Cool.
Where are you?
Home. You?
We agreed to meet at the station.
Something came up.
I was gonna pick up the suit, then catch the 12:40 train back to London Waterloo East.
Don't worry, you'll still make it. Just come to my place.
Fine. So, where is it?
Walk down the main road for a bit. Then up that street that goes kind of leftish. It's where the buses always go. Turn at the roundabout and you'll soon be at my place.
Which one is the main road? I'm on the corner of Brickley Street and Learhurst Road, the southwest corner.
Yeah. Down the main road. It's the one with the kebab shops on it.
Okay, down Brickley Street. Which direction?
Away from the station.
So I come out of the station through the main exit, the one with the ticket offices. So I come onto the main road. Do I turn left or right?
Let me think.
Do I turn towards the kebab center or the city grill?
Yes, the one with the red sign. So walk for about 5 minutes. Turn leftish at that new house they built last year, the one with the big round thingies on it.
What?
And call me once you're past the roundabout.
Hello?
Okay, so has this ever happened to you where you are trying to get directions, trying to understand where to go, and the person you're talking with is completely distracted and not paying any attention? And then not only that, but they give you these vague, abstract descriptions of things that you have no idea what they're talking about. Go around the roundabout thingy by the house with the big round things that they just built on a couple of weeks ago. What is this? So, a couple of great lessons that we can take from this script here, or this skit, I guess I should say. is number one, make sure that when you're communicating, you have listener and speaker both focused on the same thing. Number two, making sure that you're using specific language, giving those directions with left, right, big red sign, buildings, all of those can be very, very confusing if you're not facing the right direction or even in the right location. So I thought this was a pretty funny video, and I'm sure we've probably all been there where we just could not find where we needed to go from someone else's descriptions. So don't let yourself be the gentleman distracted by the basketball game. Pay attention and give good, specific descriptions. One of the things that we've been doing throughout the course of our time together is a walk down memory lane. Given that we're talking about directions today, I thought talking about some travel memories might be something nice. So I wanted to share with you one of my memories going down a walk on memory lane. As you can see in this picture here, we've got some beautiful mountainside hills with a very narrow road, guardrails, and a very large semi-truck. Well, this is as close to an example as I could find, but whenever I think, one of my first memories I think about is when I was younger. We would travel with my grandparents in their motorhome, and my dad would typically drive, and we went to Colorado basically every year. And one particular year, we were driving up a mountain. My parents and I all think that it was Vail, and there was no side rail as there is on here. However, the mountain was about as steep as what you see here, but there were 2 lanes of traffic. As you know, driving up into the high altitude, it can cause havoc for some vehicles. And the motorhome was not working well. It did not want to go up that mountain. And for some reason, my grandpa decided that he needed to fix something outside of the motorhome. He was a passenger, so yes, he was on the side without a guardrail and the steep drop-off. About the time that my grandpa's outside, my dad gets the motorhome going, and of course he can't stop now because once he stops again, then we're not going to be able to get it going again forever. So here's my grandpa on the passenger side, no guardrail, steep mountain, grandpa running, holding on to the camper, trying to jump back into the motorhome while my dad is driving this vehicle. And again, oncoming traffic as well. It was quite an experience. And as you can also imagine, there was a lot of screaming and yelling and tears going on at the same time. But thankfully, we all lived to tell, and it's a memory we will never forget. So I'd like for you in your journal or log to take a few minutes to write about a travel memory. It could be something as crazy and scary as mine. It might be something more about what led you into a certain path in your life. Maybe a new career was formed. Maybe you met somebody on your travels. But just take a few minutes to write about a travel memory. We also use this time to practice gratitude. In these crazy, uncertain times and more times of isolation and withdrawal, it's important for us to continue to focus on gratitude. When we can look at things from a positive light, it helps us with our memory as well. So think about that gratitude as you write. Obviously, my gratitude is that my grandpa didn't fall off the side of the mountain, nor did the entire motorhome. So lots of good things came out of that. But write about gratitude. Also, exercising your brain is something we talk about each week. Your brain loves to be challenged. Show your brain some love this week by writing out the steps for how to find a specific item in your home. We talked about this earlier, looking at sequential, descriptive steps on how to instruct someone to find maybe a specific book, a fine piece of china or your favorite piece of china, and or a specific photograph or something else within your home that you would like to give instructions on how to locate. Think again about describing the environment and using sensory words. So I hope you enjoyed our time together today, thinking about staying hydrated, sleeping well, and using descriptive words in specific steps. So until next time, practice your physical distancing, wear your mask, stay connected with others, call, write, sit out on the front porch or on your balcony with your social distancing, and give clear directions. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.